So that client you're really excited about just signed with someone else, and you know who they went with. You know you're better than them. So why did they choose them over you? So today I'm breaking down the 5 things that clients look at when they're making a choice. And it has nothing to do with how good you are. If competitors keep landing the clients that really should be yours, it's probably one of the 5 things that I'm going to talk about, and you can change these things. So before we start, I just want to make it clear that clients don't buy the way a lot of people think they do. They're not going around with a checklist and comparing options and deciding like, yes, these guys have everything I need, and they're not rating your skills out of 10. They're usually making a bit of a gut choice and then justifying it with some logic. And if your competitors are better at looking like the right choice, they're going to pick them even if you do offer a better service. So the first point is the fit. They feel like they fit. This is the right person for me. They get me, they understand me, they know how to work with me. This can either be because they match the niche, or niche if you're American, there's a personality match, or potentially a culture match. If you run a lifestyle brand that sells their goods online and needs a better solution for their web presence, and you have the option of working with someone who says, I work with lifestyle brands looking for high converting e-commerce solutions on Shopify that are looking to scale from 7 figures to 8 figures. Or you have the option of working with the dude who says, yeah, I build websites. One of them is a bit more tailored to you. It could be that they work with your industry specifically. It could be that they work with your problem specifically. And it could be that there's some personality match there. If you're religious, they would be religious too. If you're into extreme sports, they're into extreme sports, and that might be a factor that might make you want to work with them more. Feels like this is someone who gets me. This is someone who understands me as a person. And that is pretty appealing. If you have the choice, why wouldn't you work with someone who understands your business, you as a person, what you care about, and shares some values? The way you can change this for yourself is by embracing those things about yourself. So instead of trying to work with everyone, pick someone you work with. And yeah, it's gonna maybe make people who don't fit that maybe not want to work with you. And that's okay. It's very easy to be scared of missing out. But the problem is when you try to avoid missing out, when you try to avoid offending anyone, you start sanding down all these little bits that make you stand out to the other people. The stuff that people like, those polarizing elements, the stuff that's like, yes, that is the person for me, that disappears. So embrace the bumpy bits in your personality. Embrace the stuff that makes you you. And then when you get a chance to talk to those people, they're more likely to work with you. Guaranteed, you've got competitors that are doing that. And that's why they're landing the work. All right, so number 2, it's about visibility. Like, how visible are you to these people? Because if I see someone talk about a specific problem all the time, see their face all the time, then I start to associate them with the problem or with the service that they offer. And when I need that help, I'm going to look for them because they're in my mind, because I see them all the time. And half the time, they don't even know if that person's any good. They just claim that category in their head. That's why your competitor that keeps posting on LinkedIn, even if the stuff is kind of bland and generic and entry level almost, the reason why they keep landing work is because they're visible. And this isn't something you can shortcut your way to. Like, you need to show up. So you've got to think about content you can write, and it doesn't need to be crazy insightful. It can be entry-level stuff. You've got to be there. You've got to be visible. So go to those networking events regularly, stick to it, be consistent, post on LinkedIn or create your YouTube or send your emails, whatever it is that gets you in front of the people regularly. Keep it up, keep it going, be there. You want to be the person that when they think of the thing that you do, they think of you. And you can only do that by showing up. Next point is the appearance of quality. These competitors of yours look the part. All right, so this might sting, but most clients can't really compare your work before they actually take advantage of your work. So what they can rely on is what they can see. So they will check your website. They will see your social media presence. They will maybe have a sales call with you or something. And if you're telling them that you're premium and you offer this high quality service, but your site looks cheap and your content has mistakes in it and you're sloppy on a sales call, All these things make them think that you're lying because the way you approach one thing is the way you approach all things. That's not necessarily true, but they don't have that many opportunities to make that call. They can't actually see your work. So they're judging off the things that they can see. What you need to do is make sure there's no mistakes anywhere. Make sure that your site looks the part. Make sure that you're presentable when you're on calls and stuff. If your competitors look better than you, they're going to win. All this stuff is a risk. I have to spend money on a solution. If it doesn't fix it, then I've wasted that money. And then I have to go get it done again. And that's assuming that that solution that I'm paying for doesn't make things worse. It's risky, and people try to minimize their risk. And they minimize risk by making sure that the people that walk the talk, you go with them. So you need to walk the talk. It's easy to say you're great. It's a lot harder to show that you're great. So the way you do this, you got to look at the various touch points you have with clients. So check your website, look at the emails you send, look at your social media presence, and then ask yourself, is this the kind of level that someone who's the top of their game would have? And if that's a no, then you need to go and fix it. Now, number 4 is risk mitigation. Anytime you work with someone, things could go wrong. And so what you look for is track record, proof, pedigree. When they have testimonials, and the testimonial is about someone who's in the same position and achieves the outcome that your potential client wants, that's very appealing because it's like, cool, they work with people like me and they solve the problems I have and they deliver the outcome I want. It makes the choice much easier, less risky. You have a dude with no testimonials, it could be good, but they may not be able to deliver what I want. So to minimize risk, you're going to pick the choice that has proof. So clients are looking for reassurance that they're making the right choice, and they do that by finding testimonials, client logos, case studies, all of the things that say, yes, we work with people like you, fixing problems you have and delivering outcomes you want. What you can do to make this better is make your proof very visible. Put your client logos on the site if they're impressive logos. And if they're not, focus on maybe your testimonials and your case studies. Instead of doing things like, I helped this client grow, get specific with it. I helped this B2B SaaS company increase their conversion rate by 23%. Depending on what outcomes you've delivered, put that stuff in, make it very specific. The industry, the type of client, and the type of result that you've gotten with them. If you present that really well, you're reducing the risk. And if you're not, then even if you have achieved better results than your competitors, but your competitors are presenting and framing it better, then people are going to feel more comfortable with them. They're going to feel like they're the safer choice. So stack your proof on your website, proposals, everywhere. All right, so last one, and this one, so many people get wrong, and it's all about the perception of value. And I need to correct probably the biggest mistake people make when judging value is the value is decided by the person buying. If they think that this isn't worth the money, they're correct because it's their money. Price is what they're paying and value is what they feel the thing that they're getting is worth. So as long as your value is higher than the price, you'll win. So in sales, one of my jobs was always to unpack value with the person, to figure out what it's worth for them and help them understand that. Like, I can't tell them what it's worth, but I can ask questions to make them realize what it's worth. Like, what's happening now? What is it costing you? What would happen if we fix it? Are you going to land clients? Great. How much is a client worth? How many clients would you expect to be getting if you implement this thing? How many clients are you missing out on by not implementing this thing? So if you can get the cost of not fixing the problem, then that adds to the value for them because they're like, well, if I don't actually do this, I'm going to be losing a lot of money. That alone might be more than the cost of you actually doing it for them. So a lot of service providers, they're kind of pitching what they do, how they do it. To do it a bit better, if you orient around outcomes and what's going to happen by working with you, and everything is geared towards proving that that outcome is something you can make happen. And if that's the thing that people are wanting, then that's actually worth something to them. What you can do differently is stop focusing so much on the individual details of your service and start focusing on the transformation that they're going to go through and the outcome that they're going to get from working with you. So when you're on your website, start describing what happens. In my case, instead of I build you a website, it will be I'll help you generate leads, but that is like the most generic, bland, shitty example. Like, I wouldn't use that, but I would take that approach and focus on what happens when we work together, a specific pain point that they might have. I build your website, that's like a cost. That's something I have to pay for. But getting leads and closing bigger deals is an investment. So be the investment, not the cost. And then you win. Your competitors aren't beating you because they're better at anything. They're beating you because they look like they're a better fit and they're showing up consistently. They're presenting more professionally. They might have a lot more visible proof, and they're communicating their value more effectively than you are. So the good news is every single one of these things is something you can fix. You don't have to become a different person. You don't have to reinvent your business. It's all about how you're showing up. So this kind of thing, the positioning, websites, like how to get clients, if that is something that you want to learn more about, I run a weekly newsletter for solo founders and solopreneurs that sell services who are good at what they do, but they're sick of less good people beating them out. So a link to that is below, and I'll see you in the next video.